Okay, I didn't go to church over Christmas. 3 weeks was away over Christmas. That didn't help anything. I thought I was going to come back refreshed because I'd seen my cousins and it was going to be brilliant, but it wasn't. And then I've just been putting it off because I've been stressing because I felt bad about not posting, and I don't know, I'm posting today. That's all that matters. And I was going to do the Bible thingy. Maybe I might record this after this, but what really sparked me, I didn't even do it the night that I found it, but I did record it. And I'm just going to play a few, and then I'm going to explain why I'm playing this for you.
I understand that. Here's a cool fact for you. A lot of famous scientists believed in God.
So Darwin's right about God and wrong about evolution?
Now you're getting it. Let's give it up for Sheldon, everybody. What a good sport. Good.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, Sheldon.
You said he didn't create the sun until day 4.
Yeah.
So how could there be light the first 3 days?
God is light.
So God's a photon.
God's what made photons possible.
And what day did he do that?
I think day 1. I remember I chose to do over and get out of here. That's a terrible explanation. Today, because the first day had just begun.
So before the Big Bang?
There was no Big Bang. There was only the Word.
Was the word kaboom?
Okay, do it. We got them.
Science is...
Yeah, so basically in that, Sheldon's asking some very nice questions, and he's asking the kind of questions that a small boy who's interested in science would ask, and any person who's interested in science and intelligent would ask about Christianity, and it's just like adults and teenagers ask those kind of questions. Those are actually really mature questions to ask, and they have answers, and maybe they didn't have answers back then, but the thing is, people nowadays would still answer those questions in that way, and even like the Darwin thing, and it's like, yes, Darwin was actually a Christian. And now we discredited evolution. No, that's not how that... Like, I hate that a lot of people discount science as having anything to do with Christianity when literally science, half the reason Western modern science exists is because the church funded it. Like, that was a thing the church did because they believed learning about the universe was a good way of connecting themselves with closer to God. And understanding God, because God is the universe, so the study of the universe was the study of God. And like, basically, the best way of saying it, in the first moments, faith is very much faith, and science is very much facts, and he's a very sciencey person. The thing is, he didn't have to be. He was raised that way, and that's how his brain works, but the thing is, he could have very easily been a Christian if he'd had a better pastor who would answer his question better, had gone, well, yes, evolution does exist. One, the original first thing is a story. It's a way of explaining things. It's how things came to exist. It's an explanation for the universe. It's a parable. It's a story of creation. It's in some ways a myth, but also in some ways real. And you need to reconcile that both can be equally true. The Genesis and evolution both happened. And that's allowed, and that's okay, and that's good. Like, there's nothing saying they both can't be possible. And it grates when people, like, dismiss it just because it's like, well, that doesn't... No, that's not how things work. Don't ever take the Bible literally. Because because not all of it's supposed to be literally. It's not all of it's hard facts history. Some of it's scripture and theology and, like, stories, and like it's a way of life, and the Bible is a collection of stories which only have one characteristic that combines them truly all together, all of them. Like, some of them can be grouped together in themselves, but the main thing is that they're all telling you something about God. Not that they tell you something about the world, but they tell you something about God and God's nature and about God and and some of it, sometimes, the God which he created, and us, the people in the world, and like it talks about the nature of humanity and the nature of God. That's what the point of the Bible is to teach you about those things. It's not meant to actually be an accurate history. Like, sure, some of the Gospels are, but those are very specifically written. The Gospels that are, especially the one I'm thinking of, it's written like a history textbook in some ways. It's like, oh, this happened at this thing. It's written like a historical document. Like, oh, this is what time it happened. This is how you can place it in history, and these are corroborating sources of like you can figure out when this is, and you can go to those places and corroborate what I'm writing. Like the historical ones that are written like historical documents of like documented of what's actually going on are written like that. They're not the nebulous. There were 7 days. The universe was created. God spent 7, because the 7 days, 7 is a very important number. It has a lot of connotations. It's 7th day of the Sabbath, the rest day. Even God had created the world in 6 days, and then he had a rest day, but you still say it's a 7-day creation story because of the number. And it's like, I don't necessarily study the Bible, but like, even I can answer Sheldon's questions better than the pastor did. And it kind of pains me, because he doesn't know better. But at the same time, that man is a hypocrite, because there's multiple other times in that show where he shows he's a horrible person who's hypocritical, and it pains me because he does not love. He does not care. He's already dismissed the moment Sheldon's asking these questions, he's already dismissed it. He's already gone, no, you're not worth my time. And Sheldon gets that. Sheldon feels that. Sheldon tries to make a connection for the sake of his mother. But the church doesn't want to make a connection with him, and that's the real reason why he's lost. Not because he is him, but because they're them. And it happens in churches all the time, and it's a sad truth that you need to be able to think when you're a Christian if you want to actually, the more you can think as a Christian, the better Christian you'll be, because a lot of the literature in there is meditation literature. It's literature you need to read over and over again, and you'll learn something new each time, and you need to absorb it, and you need to pray over it, it's a highly spiritual text that you need to consume spiritually, and that means you need to meditate over it, you need to consume it, and it's just like, but people have forgotten that, and it's not good. It's not good for the world, it's not good for the Christians, it's not good for anyone. So yeah, that's my message. I'm gonna try and come back and continue doing the whole gospel series, and I'll definitely try and continue posting these videos, but that was the main thing of like, we need Christians who actually want to be Christians, who actually want to be disciples of Christ, who actually want to follow in his footsteps. And sometimes that means we very much actually need to learn how the Hebrews did things, because the Bible was written by Hebrews. Like, I don't think a single author wasn't Hebrew or Jewish, and that's something we need to remember. So yeah. So yeah, that's my message for today. Remember where we come from. Remember the books, remember the stories, and remember to love and to be kind and to come from a place of understanding, because even if on some level maybe he was coming up with those questions to be argumentative, others would ask those same questions and got those same answers, and they wouldn't have been asking the questions to be argumentative. And that's what's really wrong with the world and some churches out there. So we need to start. This is a message for lots of churches out there. You need to actually start critically thinking about the Bible, and that's okay, and that's good. That's a good thing to critically think about what you're reading. God encourages that. God doesn't expect us to be mindless sheep. He just expects us to want and crave the truth. To want and crave Him, to want and crave love and life, because He knows that if we truly are after those things and we truly search for them, we'll come to Him in the end. And that's one of the beautiful things about Christ. So yeah, that was that. And bye!